Right, muckers, back on the Super Major. Our parts have arrived as well, which is good. So they've arrived from Leyland, so we'll just have a open that up and we'll just see what's in there. Right, so we've got filters, a hose kit, they're all perished on the Super Major, fan belt, got some new battery leads, which is good, and I've also got another fuel tap at the bottom of the tank because the one on there doesn't work. You can turn it in and out, it don't work. And a switch for the solenoid on the starter motor because I've had to rob one off the Dexter for the moment. But yeah, so good. That's all here. Now, to get all this onto that. Right, so it's all connected. Let's see if I can get it to turn over, and then we can have a look at the primer. Just have a go, Rex. Right, stop. Tighten out of them.
What, both of them?
Both of them, yeah, you just tighten them up. Hang on.
Keep it running, I'll try and...
No, do. I'll just make sure everything's alright now. Again, just give us a short little break. We'll look round it. Guys, to look round it and then...
So I'm going to try the gears.
I wouldn't, not yet.
Right.
If that runs, that'll drive.
Yeah.
Well, that was good though, wasn't
it? Yeah.
That sounded nice and it picked straight up. Yeah. Really, really good. So, we'll just have a good check round now, and then we'll start connecting other bits up and swapping other bits over. If you put everything on, then you've got to find that something else needs taken off. You've got to take all it. Just engine runs, we know that it starts and runs pretty well. So now we can start swapping bits and yeah, hoses and linkages and stuff like that. Fantastic. Right, so a quick update. Here we have the rebuilt starter motor, so that can go on. Then we're going to swap the hoses about, like I say. I've got that tyre to do, which I have somewhere over there. Right, so that's the next stage, is to do that and a couple of little other bits, but we know it runs, and it runs really, really well. But the next big question is, will it actually drive? I think it will. I'm not sure, but we'll give it a go. So yeah, I'll get those on probably next week, do all that bit, put all that on, to get to fire up again, and then I'm going to try and see if it drives forward and see if it stops. Right, the other thing, for those of you that follow me on Instagram will know I've been doing a bit of research and development, which I enjoy all that sort of stuff. So, 10 series mudguards. As I said, mine are actually very good, which is one of the reasons I bought the 7.8, one of the deciding factors, because they're good. But replacement parts, you know, there's some real shonky stuff out there. But working with another British manufacturer, Leyland, to try to develop a set of replacement mudguards for the 10 series cabs. And they asked if I would try a set on my 7.8 to see how they fit, see how everything lines up and whatever. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. So I've got to remove these. And you can see here, you've got various, let me see up in there, I think it's best. There's various bolts, and they're basically, on these, they're a captive They're a captive nut with a bolt through from the other side. And they're a bit of a pain. We've got to get them off. Once they're off, we'll then try the replacement and see how it all offers up and fits up. And then I'll report back to AgriLine and say, look, it needs this or it needs that, or it's okay. So let's get on with it. So you can see there and there, well, that one actually broke off, which was not a problem, but there's all those nuts, the captive nuts here and whatever. So they're all unbolted all the way through, and now you've got these large ones here, which are up in there on the main bracket. So we're going to do those, and then we're going to get it off. Stay there. Won't fall any further. That's for sure. Right, if I can put that there. Turn these round. Put that there. There we are. There's a proper forward mudguard rest. And that way I won't have to disconnect all the wiring. I could do without doing that at the moment. So that's all good. Right, we can also see here, let me show you. It also reveals some rot in the side of the cab, which isn't a bad thing because we can then attend to that. These are the places where all the mud sits. We know we've got to do the cab, and you can buy all the parts for this anyway. So down here is actually quite solid, so that's all right. He's not going to sell much ice cream going at that speed. Right, so yeah, we can clean this all up. But anyway, let's see how the other one fits. So this is the replacement one. As I said, it feels nice and sort of thick. So we'll see how it marries up to the original brackets. Okay then, so obviously got the wire at the back, because I don't want to trap that. I don't want to disconnect it either, just for the sake of doing this. But let's obviously just move things forward a little bit. But these all fit in. So the main brackets all go through, so they'll all marry up, especially, as I said, that slides back when that wire's not there and it's trunked through the right place. And it would appear that, let me just have a look here. With that in mind, all the holes line up also. Again, just remember, just slide that back a bit. That wire is at the back. Everything seems to tweak and marry up quite nicely. As I said, this is the experimental one, just for the runoff. Well, all the little wells and all that at this point, as I said, this is just a prototype, but very, very nice. The folds are very nice. The fold and everything follows. Everything follows the line. Mudguards. So yeah, these, I think, hopefully, once I get the report back, are going to be in production. They'll start knocking them out and doing them on a decent size run. They'll be available. And at least you'll know that they will fit, because there's been a lot of sort of thought and research has gone into it. Right, I better get cleared up here, because we've got some other bits coming in and this has got to go out, and you know what it's like. Right, now the other question I'm getting asked is how are we getting on with the Leyland, the one for the dog charity. The answer is slowly. The engine and everything is done, and all the fuel system, and you've seen us do that, and spot on, fires up, lovely. But as I mentioned, we had a problem with the brakes. Now initially I thought that maybe it was just the the master cylinders had just become old and the seals had gone, but it turns out there was a bit more to it than just that. Right, so down in the depths here, you might be able to see, so you've got down in there,
and there is the 2 cylinders, each for each side. Here's your pot up here, and basically there were no brakes. This pedal, the pedal down here was seized solid, but I managed to free that up with some very precise blows from a sledgehammer, and anyway it started to move, so I thought that's good, but that obviously didn't cure it.
So anyway, what we had to do then is take those master cylinders off and basically, yeah, just sort them out, and they were seized solid, and I mean we had to heat one of them to get the bits out. But then what we did, got a proper hone, you know, for cleaning all the surfaces inside. We cleaned them all up properly. They actually look quite good, despite the condition that we initially found them in. And then what we did was to reseal them. So put all new seals and everything in, and that all went well. Refitted them, topped up the reservoir, and then from the reservoir to the cylinders there are 2 pieces of pipe. And I say they're all supplied by the brake specialist, but they seemed quite soft. And when we fitted them, there was oil everywhere, just coming out of these pipes. And it's just, I don't know where they'd got these pipes, but they were like, I suppose, made out, I don't know where they got them. Probably made out of an aardvark's fallopian tubes or something. I don't know, but they were shite. So what we then did is we got some proper, you know, obviously mineral oil resistant hosing that you use on vehicles, and cut some lengths of that, put them on, absolutely fine. That solved that problem. Why they would supply stuff like that, I don't know, because it was just shite. But anyway, so that's all right now, and we've got a pedal, and it's a good pedal. However, what we've now got is all the linkages that go to the brakes are basically seized and want freeing up, and yeah, so that all needs doing next. So we'll put the Leyland back in the workshop, whip the wheels off so we can get to each side, and the one good thing is that the brakes do work, the actual brakes themselves, because you can pull up on the handbrake and she pulls up fine, and a really good brake. But everything in between. So realistically, at some point, whether it was the cylinders, you know, the seals gave way, but rather than repair them, whoever had this just did nothing about it, and they just let everything seize up, from the brake pedal right through to the actual axle, all the linkages, everything. And who the f would do that? It does beg a belief, you know. Is it like an interior light switch, or maybe the cigarette lighter? No, it's your fucking brakes, the stuff you actually need. But anyway, we're getting there. Yes, it's cost a lot more and whatever, but it's got to be right. It has to have brakes. It runs, it drives, it has to have brakes. And I'm not going to bodge on brakes. You either do them right or you don't do them at all. Which is like the last person. Obviously didn't fucking bother doing them at all. But anyway, the main thing is we're getting there. So we'll get this in the workshop probably next week, and then yeah, we will get that done, and then it's just a few other little odds and sods we've got to do to it. Then it's all sort of cosmetic stuff and tidying, putting bits on and whatever, but the main things, the mechanical things, will all be done then. So yeah, we're getting on with it, but it's taking some bloody time and money. Thank you. So it looks like it's that time again, Marcus. But hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea of what we've been up to. With the Super Major and the Leyland, and doing the bits with the mudguards on the 7.810. But I'm going to get back on with this. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll know I've been working on the dozer. And we're doing a fair bit to it. But rather, you know, I've been filming it, but rather than there being, oh no, I'm telling them, rather than there being like, you know, lots of short bits, we're going to put it together in like 2 videos, all sort of complete. But yeah, as I said, I'll keep you updated. But if, you know, you want to keep up with what we're doing on a bit more regular basis, yes, I'm telling them, you can follow me on Instagram, which is Lord Muck 4890. And there's always videos and pictures and stuff gone up there, and you know, more in real time stuff, so you don't always have to wait for the videos to come out. Anyway, muckers, so until the next one, do well.